All right, so this is going to talk about article from yesterday, and this is regards to the Heroes Day celebration with on Monday, and it addresses something that's very interesting. We have talked about countless times when it comes to the socio-economic situation with Jamaica, and this relates to Marcus Garvey, basically his son Julius Garvey, and his son basically was saying that he is disappointed with Jamaica and how they basically did not fail to teach a lot of the philosophies and point lines. What's the word I'm looking for? The philosophies and also also a lot of the racially conscious points that his late father tried to make. And he basically said that he would not be happy with the lack of the lack of a black social conscience that Jamaica had, given the fact that Garvey, a pro-Jamaican, Jamaican was went around the world trying to teach Pan Africanism. And I think I'm not going to read it word for word, but he basically stated that Jules Garcia said that he is that there's like an overall resistance to teaching black consciousness here in Jamaica, and he went on to say how the leaders. He said basically, father. Uh, he said one thing he said, which I kind of disagree. He said that social and economically, I'm sure my father bitterly disappointed. Worse, we have not created a society that's sustainable, but it can fix, or at least fix these problems. The last part I had a problem with, because one, and I said this online, is that one, the infrastructure that Jamaica currently is still in, that's by design. All right, I think that's the thing with Dr. Jules Garvey. I didn't. Maybe he doesn't want to acknowledge that. The problem is that this is by design. That there's not the economic infrastructure which is meant to disenfranchise majority of Jamaicans, black Jamaicans specifically, is by design. All right, it's and the thing is, he said urge our leaders to fix the problems. They're part of the problem. All right, out of the leaders we've had in both parties, the PNP and the GLP, are part of the problem. They're not there to fix the problems with Jamaica have. Yeah, they do fringe benefits where they'll fix up some communities, fix up some schools, but overall the social economic structure, that plantation system which Jamaica is based on primarily, that they're put there to help maintain that, because if they don't maintain that, all right, if they veer away from what Jamaica was created as, that plantation system is going to be destroyed, and a lot of those, and their colonial masters in Europe and North America who still have Jamaica under the thumb hole aren't going to be happy about that. They're not going to be. They don't want Jamaica to become a Pan Africanist type of country. All right, they want it to be maintained as a slave colony. And yeah, and yes, this is not a conspiracy theory if anyone is wondering, but alright, because we have problem here in Jamaica is that we have, apart from the economic deprivation, a lot of the self-hatred we have for each other is by design. Alright, and I think that's kind of where Julius Garvey needs to understand that this is not by accident. This is not a lack of failure by the country. Jamaica was always created as a slave colony. When Spanish came, killed the Arawaks, then the British came, drove out the Spaniards, brought in Africans after the Spaniards did, of course. This was never meant to be a place where a country where that the black Jamaicans particularly were meant to be economically prosper. They were just meant to be slaves to help the white minority rule. And even though there are not that many Caucasians here in Jamaica, literally, a lot of them, and as well as their coon collaborators, they still have, many of them still have economic power over most Jamaicans, and yes, it's not lost until too many Jamaicans are willing slaves in their own enslavement. That's but so on, but and I agree. You say we need to teach our history, but they're not going to do it because they don't want to do that. All right. All right. The reason only way they're going to happen is one, get rid of a lot of these. politicians on both sides were agents of Europe and North America. That's what Julius Garvey should have said. He should have said that the problem. He should have acknowledged that they're purposely meant to keep Jamaica this way. They're not. They don't want to teach Garvey's philosophies, because if they do that, the people, for the most part, wake up. A lot of these corrupt politicians, a lot of these people, elites in the upper class, a lot of these criminals, these dons, these gunmen, and these other criminal scum in this country are going to have to leave, are going to have to take themselves out of the country. All right, and that's something that they don't want. That they don't want anything to mash up their pyramid scheme. So this is basically what the truth is. I think I agreed what Alti said. This is something that has been obvious for many years. All right, but the thing is, I think he should just overall acknowledge that the system in Jamaica was not meant to benefit the majority of the people. That this is they're purposely not doing this because they don't want to change the dynamic. Because if people start learning uh, about about their black pride and taking Garvey's fast seriously, all right, a lot of people who are benefiting from Jamaica being a third world country are going to start benefiting. And I think what W.E.B. Du Bois, hate him or love him, he said it best, that the system cannot fail those it was never designed to protect. All right, the system was not meant to benefit most Jamaicans, especially the black Jamaicans, because race is a factor. All right, and I think, and like I said, I think it just, what I would have said if our Dr. Julius Garvey said that we need to start find ways to push up these corrupt politicians, get rid of these agents we have in politics and these out there criminal associates. That's what I would have said. I would have just been overly honest and say, see what the real deal was why Jamaica is still the way it is. But that's pretty much I have to say. And the thing is, I've had to mention overall the sad overall truth, which I said online. Jamaicans never loved Garvey. I'm sorry. We appreciate him as a cultural icon to some degree. But Jamaicans remember things when Garvey started the Pan Africanism thing here in Jamaica before he went to America. Nobody in Jamaica, for the most part in Jamaica, really took to him. Alright, it's just that when he became big overseas, came back here, then we acknowledged him to a point. But even when he wanted to help make things better in Jamaica, oh, we fought him down, we marginalized him. And even after he's made a national hero, we'll acknowledge him, but we're not going to acknowledge what his message. And the thing is, in Jamaica, we have to be honest about that. We did not appreciate Garvey. We never loved Garvey. All right. And I think that's something that Julius Garvey, I wish I'd said that. Jamaicans, we never appreciated Garvey, because unfortunately, too many of us are still slaves on that plantation. And it's just time to start telling the whole truth and and keep telling that very sad truth right here. All right. And I don't say it just to down us, but we just have to be honest ourselves and move from there and hopefully change the tide. All right, so this is going to stay to Jamaican Caribbean. Check my other YouTube pages, Miles Goods and Farron, Miles Productions. Good day.